Google to do our stuff. Mhm. 1 second, I'm adjusting. Yeah, I think now it's working.
Hey, hey.
So hard to make technology work. Oh my gosh. So let me confirm if I press all the buttons. I can try Instagram. Do you have 2 minutes of patience to try Instagram as well?
I've got all the patience in the world, so.
Okay, let me try. I can hear a cat.
Yeah, I locked the puppies outside. I ran them for the last hour and a half. And the cat usually doesn't make any noise. And now, of course, since we want to do something, here he comes.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun having a cat.
It's all real, huh?
Yes, that's real life. Okay, not sure if it's working. I can try to log in here to see if it's playing. Looks like it's working. Let me just. Yeah, so we're live on Instagram. People won't be able to see us in the right position. And there is no sound over there. Let's leave it over there, don't you think? At least people will be curious.
Okay.
Face. So I'll go live here. Real life here. Let me go live here. I think it is working on Facebook. Have you turned all your notifications off on your computer and your phone?
Oh,
At
is there
least
a
for
fast? Is there a fast way to do it on a computer?
I use a Mac, so I don't know. I do use Windows, don't
Yeah,
you?
I'm on a Mac.
Also, on the top right, next to the date, there are two things that you click, and then you click Do Not Disturb. It's next to the lookup.
Wait a minute. Next to the what?
The lookup, like the detective uses.
The magnifying glass. Oh,
Yes, that's what I want to say.
so like maybe focus, do not disturb. How's that?
Yes.
Let's cross our fingers that that's work. That's what we're after.
Let me take a look here on YouTube if on Facebook if it's working. No, it's not. Happening now. Ah. It's happening the wrong one because I have two events over there because I changed it. Remember, I changed the name.
Mm-hmm. And that changed the event.
Let me delete this one and start the other one. Okay. Now I started the right one. Ah, now I got it. Everybody's listening to music over there. Hope it works. Can you see it?
I'm just looking at you on the Meet.
Okay.
So, and I'm not going to try and confuse myself by having the Meet, the YouTube, the Facebook, and the Instagram all going at the same time.
Theoretically, everything is working. So I'm going to change my screen here to our Google Meet. I have a mask working here. Let me see. Everything is working perfectly. I will send you just a quick picture because one day you're going to be doing this so you can see the setup here, the crazy setup.
Nice.
Take a look here on your WhatsApp. Okay, we're ready to start. We're going to record for 35 minutes. It's already recording. Once I click here, transition, people will see our faces and we can start talking.
Okay.
So they cover those 3 points: the mindset of a nonprofit leaders and how the purpose of this organization can be unlocked and change and grow by the leader of the organization changing and having a purpose mindset, how this can change. Are you ready? Let's rock. Okay.
Before you do, give me 1 second. We're not live yet, right?
No.
Good, because the cat just decided to go attack the scratching cardboard thing, and it was going to be in the background of. So I'm good now.
Okay, let's go. Hello, folks. We're here today talking with Clark, not Clark Kent, it's Clark Hodge, the executive director of Chase the Music. He's an amazing person, and we're going to be talking a little bit about how to break old habits and build a new mindset to make a social change. Welcome, Clark, and I'm very happy to be here talking to you again.
Hi, Bettina. Nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So I think the most important part for everybody is to understand, first of all, what is Chase the Music about? Can you tell us a little bit about the story, how Chase the Music was created and where did this idea come from?
Absolutely. So Chase the Music is a United States-based nonprofit that gives children battling critical conditions hope, strength, love, and joy through the power of music. We do this by having original pieces of music composed and performed just for these individual kids. It started about 12 years ago when I had a little party at my house where we were doing chamber music. And 2 of the artists were married. One was a flute player, the other a French horn player. And they had a little girl, Lauren. Lauren was 3 years old at the time, and she and I played on the rocks outside my house. And just the most beautiful family. 6 months after the performance, I got a phone call from the people that had originally introduced me to the family. And they told me that Lauren had cancer. And it just ripped my heart apart. And my wife and I looked at each other and thought, we've got to do something for this sweet family. We didn't know them beforehand, but we were going to get her a little teddy bear. And a teddy bear like my young son had, somebody had given him, came from London, and he had beans in his paws, so they were really floppy, the coolest teddy bear you can imagine. And as we're trying to find out how to get one of these teddy bears from London, we realized every kid in America's got 25 teddy bears, and every sick kid's probably got 50. So that no matter how cool we thought this teddy bear was, he wasn't going to be the right gift for Lauren. We thought about it for a few weeks and finally came up with the idea of what if we had an original piece of music composed and performed just for Lauren? And we didn't know what that meant. We didn't know what it entailed. But I got with one of the local high school band directors, and she educated me on commissioning music and how that all worked. And we brought together a composer, Clint Needham, and Clint composed a beautiful piece of music called Chase the Morning Sun. So a lot like the name of our organization, Chase the Music. Chase the Morning Sun was all about how, when you're really sick, do you get up in the morning or do you go to bed at night and knowing the next morning you're going to chase that beautiful sunrise and have a good day the next day. The piece was premiered by the Lions High School Band, and Lauren sat next to me at the piece, and it featured French horn and flute solos to honor her parents. Remember, all the Chase the Music pieces are written specifically for an individual child, and we really work hard to tie the music to that child. At the end of her piece, Lauren looked up at me and said, "Clark, I'm never going to stop smiling." And that was the beginning of Chase the Music. Originally, it was just a one-time gift. It wasn't meant to be an organization. It wasn't meant to happen again and again. But over the next couple of years, I did about one piece per year. And then fortunately, the high-tech community decided it was time for me to be done, and they laid me off. And I took and started Chase the Music on a full-time basis at that point. So that's kind of how we got here now. And now we do, anywhere, depending on the year, from 20 to 50 pieces per year.
Oh my gosh. So for everybody that's listening, just came into our live event, just to catch you up, we are talking with Clark Hodge, the executive director from Chase the Music, and we are going to talk about his story of self-development, how his inside change is provoking amazing growth at Chase the Music, a very special nonprofit. So you talked to us about how Chase the Music started. Now, you must have a musical background then. Is it that true? Or how you got involved with music?
Oh, so I'm actually retired from the music community as a performer. I was a triangle player all through my high school career. So at age 18, I finished that career and have moved on. So no, I'm not a performer. I like to refer to myself now as what they call an impresario. And an impresario is basically someone who produces musical events. And we bring together the composers, the children, the performers, the venue, and the audience. And then I always like to say we mix in a little bit of love and magic to make the event really special for those children.
It's amazing, the purpose of Chase the Music, but I can imagine that sometimes being an executive director is not easy. You might face a lot of difficulties, and we want to relate with this audience, people who run nonprofits. That's why we're here today. We want to share best practice that can help you run your nonprofit. So, Clark, do you have any tips on how someone that works in a nonprofit can start their journey of self-awareness and how this can impact their nonprofits?
Well, for me, it's been important to get a little bit of outside help. I've been doing this since we originally started about 11 years ago. And as an organization, we've been doing it for 6 years. And I was just kind of plugging along on my own. And I couldn't see the forest through the trees. I had these grandiose visions of where I wanted to take the organization, but I was stuck in my own head on how I was doing things and how I was getting there. And so this is where Bettina kind of came into my life, and I participated in the Happiness Journey, one of her coaching sessions or group of sessions. So we met 6 times as an organization, as a group. And then we met about 6 times individually along with that. And that broke me out of the mindset that I was stuck in on how I was doing this and how I thought it was going to progress. And now we're really making some leaps and bounds in board development. We're getting the right people on our board so that we can move forward. And it's not just me doing it. Now I've got help from others. We're bringing on other outside consultants who can also, it's really important to me that they both the board and any volunteers, any consultants, any organizations that we work with really share the spirit and passion for Chase the Music, because it's such an important mission. These kids are going through such difficult times, and the musical gift that we give them is so important. So it's really appreciated that I made that jump, or maybe Bettina might say she kicked me into taking some outside advice and more importantly, not just advice, but help and assistance from others in making Chase the Music's dreams come true.
As you mentioned, that it's a group effort, and how was the feeling of having a group moving forward and everybody changing their lives, and how this impacted your own life, Clark?
It was really good to see how different people at different stages of their careers and of their lives approach this, and where they were getting stuck. And I think that's given me a better appreciation as we bring other people into the organization, how I need to work with others in driving our mission. So, some people are much more driven than others. Others jump right in. Some people do really well with a certain set of tools. Others, those tools don't work for. One of the beautiful things that I liked about the coaching was that we were handed a whole lot of tools. And at first, I thought I had to use all of those tools. I thought I needed to make use of each one of them. I thought that was my assignment. And what I then realized was, no, I just got a toolbox, and I take out of that toolbox the right tool at the right time. And some of those tools I've really jumped in with, and then others, they're not my tool yet, or at least not at this moment.
That's so cool. But can you talk us a little bit about the tools and which ones you really enjoyed putting in practice in your life? I know you loved time blocking. Can you tell about time blocking, and maybe meditation was your two favorite ones?
Those are definitely my two favorites. And the time blocking, if you're not aware, is a different style of project management or productivity enhancement. It's where you take relatively large blocks of time and assign them to not necessarily a specific task, but a group of tasks or a function. So I have time blocking for donor gratitude, and I'll spend an hour a week that's blocked at a specific time. But I think it's Thursdays at 1:00. I make sure that I'm caught up on my donor gratitude, whether that's phone calls or emails or handwritten notes. I have development in working with sponsors as another time block. And instead of breaking it down into all of the little small functions, write a thank you letter to Joe, it's just part of that bigger time block, and it's much easier to get it done. It lets me keep my head focused on just what's important in that block of time. Meditation was the other one. And I tried meditation probably 5 or 6 times unsuccessfully over the last 10 years. About 10 years ago in my life, it's like people told me, you should meditate. It's really good for you. And I would sit down in my comfortable little chair, and I'd get the headphones, and I'd listen to one of the applications, and I'd walk away feeling pretty peaceful, but I thought I was peaceful going into it, and it didn't really change it. And I had a big realization during our happiness journey course. And that realization was that it's not meditation to meditate, calm your mind, and empty your mind of all thoughts except for your breath. At that time, it's to be able to control your mind so that when there's 100 things hitting you at once and you need to be focused on letters of gratitude, how can I let go of the fact that, I've got a problem with a musician, or I've got an event that's coming up that's got a million things that need to be done? No, right now is the time to be doing letters of gratitude. And so I can let go of all that. And I'm no longer distracted. And the meditation has really helped me with that. And I'm looking forward. I've been doing it now actively for about 2 months now, 2.5 months, I think, since we started the course. And I can really feel the difference. And so I'm looking forward to see how much more it changes over the next years.
You're incredible, Clark. And let me explain our audience what it's all about. So during the Happiness Journey program, there is a 6-week program. We have 21 days introduction to meditation with a special topics opening to abundance. So you receive once a day a 10-15 minute meditation that you do it, and then there are some exercises you do on top of this meditation to develop your openness to abundance. And this help you set up your mind to really any type of meditation, and you can after you finish the course bring to your life other topics, and we recommend different tools and apps that you can use to continue this journey. And I'm really, really happy that you're able to use those tools. But how did you use all those tools to increase the productivity of your nonprofit?
So how did I use all the tools? Well, remember, I only picked a few out because one of my biggest issues that we identified in the course was my issues with getting focused. I had too many things that I was working on, too many side projects, too many things that were urgent, but not necessarily, and they really were not important to the organization. So the first thing was to reprioritize and get focus. And I couldn't get focused until the meditation tool came into play. And then the meditation tool said, okay, now I've got a little bit more control of my head. And then we added in the time blocks. And that has really given me a much more productive mindset that I really like. And it's really changed how I work. One of the things that's also in the course is it's a very balanced course. So it's not just about professional tasks. We had folks in the course that were interested in just personal development, others that were interested in professional development where they were taking their companies. And for me, it was both. I needed to do both. So I needed to work on some things that were in my own head, and then also be able to take that to the organization so I can drive the organization further forward.
So you say that you incorporated tools from Happiness Journey into your personal and professional life?
Correct. And I think for me, that was really important. If I would have done, if it would have been a course that was only focused on what I was doing with Chase the Music or what I was doing in my personal life, it would not have been nearly as effective. I really needed to take my own head and wrap it around of what's important to me personally. And the good thing is I went into it with an amazing organization and with an amazing mission that my intentions are to do this till the day I die. So I'm not in a role where I'm trying to build a company to sell it, to spin it off, to flip it. I'm in this because I wanted to make as big an impact on children battling critical conditions through this power of music as I possibly can. And so if I didn't have my personal life and my professional life aligned, this would not be possible. And I thank Bettina because she's the one she saw that need and right away began coaching me in that direction, that you can't just do it by working on your to-do list, Clark.
Thank you, Clark. And I think we are totally aligned. I will tell you a story too. I was doing a coaching session at the ICF, the International Colorado Association, Coaching Association. And I had the chance to be coached by a lady who was 83 years old. And she made me a question and said, if you could use a magic wand, what would you ask for? I said, I will ask for someone to help me create the content for the Happiness Journey program, someone who speaks fluent English and someone who have the coaching experience. And after the session with her 2 weeks later, one of my clients, there is a coach, she said, I would love to help you with the Happiness Journey program. I said, I can't believe it. This is her. My magic wand really worked. And she's amazing. Her name is Kathy Foster. I think you met her and introduced you to her.
Yep.
And she was the one who helped me put in words the exercises and all the knowledge I had in my mind and in my experience to make this successful program. So I'm very thankful for her. But I'm telling you this story, Clark, to tell you that I have the same wish than you. I want to be a coach until I die. I don't want to have a
Yeah.
retirement party. My retirement party will be at my funeral, and everybody will be invited. Everybody that I impacted. So my wish is to impact at least 1,000 people with my coaching program as soon as I can. And I know that you have a dream of impacting at least 5,000 kids. So tell me a little bit about what is the future for Chase the Music. What are you
Yeah.
expecting
So,
for the future of your organization?
so 5,000 is kind of like a phase one to get there, because really where I want to be is to be doing, easy. I tell people I want to be doing 1,000 pieces of music a year. And my day, and it doesn't matter if it's 1,000 or 5,000, my day kind of starts off the same. And if at 1,000, it's 3 pieces per day that we're creating and delivering to these kids. And my day starts off by waking up, turning on the computer, grab a cup of coffee, and then read the stories and listen to the music that was delivered across the world for those kids that the previous day. And I figure I'm going to cry for like half an hour after that. Be motivating and inspirational to get to work, because we're going to do this for more and more kids, further across the globe, battling more different conditions than we're doing today. So yes, long term, Chase the Music, we want to scale it globally. We want to do a lot more pieces. We've got some very strong feelings about our organizational structure and how we deliver gifts. We're not willing to sacrifice. We don't want a cookie cutter gifts. We want every gift to be unique for that child, because every child is unique. So they deserve that kind of special gift. And we want to be able to facilitate having different areas of the globe special, have facilities in different parts of the globe, so we can deliver at a moment's notice when we've got someone who's really critically ill and doesn't have much time.
I admire you, Clark, and I have the feeling that you did the big leap. Now you have a big open mind and you're ready for big corporations to get involved with Chase the Music. So, what are you foreseeing for 2022? I know you have some shows already scheduled. I think our audience will love to hear the story of your next show that you're getting ready with a band of Boulder. Can you tell us the story of this amazing woman who's going to receive the next piece of music?
Yeah. So the next piece, and this might take a little bit of explaining. So a few years ago, I met with a family, and the father was dying of brain cancer. And before that, our mission had always been about children battling critical conditions. And then we realized, if you're losing your parent and you're 5 years old, that's as critical a condition as it happens. So about a year ago now, I was introduced to a young woman. There's actually a long story with this, but she's actually performed at my house. She was part of that chamber music that performed 11 years ago when Lauren was a guest at my house, and her family performed up here. And about 4 or 5 years ago, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She went through the treatment and everything looked good. She was clean. And then about a year ago, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and had moved through other areas of her body. And this woman is the band director at the Boulder High School in Colorado, United States. And she's got 3 beautiful young girls of her own, but she's also got about 75 students at the high school. And then she also teaches at the junior high school and has another 50 students there. And so we have had a large high school band piece composed. It's called Triumph. And I love the name, because she's the kind of person that's going to triumph over this cancer. She just this last Thanksgiving ran an Ironman. And I don't even remember the numbers. It's like a 26-mile marathon, a 100-mile bike ride, and a couple miles swimming in the ocean. And she beat her anticipated time. She'd never done it before. She's been training since she was diagnosed, and she beat her anticipated time by an hour. So not only did she finish, she triumphed. And so this is a really meaningful piece. It's a difficult piece. The composer said, if she's going to work that hard to beat cancer, you kids are going to work that hard to perform something really special for her. So I'm really excited. This piece will premiere. We've just set the date and finalized the date in early May. But there's always a number of pieces coming, up and coming, and they vary. I'm going to take a little liberty and just talk a little bit about the kids and the music that we do. So the kids can be, we use the term battling critical conditions, and that can mean terminal illness of their own, or as I just mentioned, of their family. It can be severe injury, debilitating syndromes, excruciating mental crisis. There's all kinds of things that we put into that definition, because there's a lot of things that kids just shouldn't have to go through. And that's kind of how we measure, or make that deciding factor if a kid should get songs. If they're going through something that no person should go through, let alone a child, then they deserve a song. And then musically, it can be anything, like we mentioned with Boulder High School, with a band piece, an orchestra piece, a choral piece. It can be from high school level, university level, professional level, symphonies and orchestras, choirs, rock bands. I use the term, we do things from A to Z, genres A to Z, Aboriginal to Zydeco. We've actually done a didgeridoo piece, and we're still looking for the right child to do a Zydeco piece for. So really cool music comes out of this.
This is so special. I think the organization is totally ready to have a big organization sponsoring your shows in 2022. Let's wish that this big organization that's mindfulness as well of the impact that the kids need in their lives and the families, and just pray that this company will come, and it will. I think if we have the right mindset, we will attract the right people to the organization, Clark. I truly believe that. So what is your advice if any company wants to get in touch with you, how they can find more information about Chase the Music, how they can get involved? If a musician wants to help, what is the step to create a piece of music? If you may explain, please.
Yes, we look at it as putting together a puzzle, and the puzzle has the composer or the songwriter, the performers, the child, the venue where we're going to perform it, an audience, and then love and magic. And then we work really hard to make that puzzle fit as closely as possible. We want that songwriter to really know that child. We want them to spend time together and get to know each other so that they can really write a piece of music. We want the musicians to know the child so that they can perform as best they can. And so as tight a puzzle as we can make. So you can find us at chasethemusic.org. And if you'd like, my contact information is all there. You can reach out directly to me at Clark, C-L-A-R-K, at chasethemusic.org. And you can join the newsletter at chasethemusic.org/ad, and it'll take you right to our newsletter. And that way you get some of the insights, some of the things that are happening, stories of the kids, stories of the musicians, stories of audience members and donors that have been touched, and different opportunities. Feel free to reach out and talk to me about different opportunities on donation and sponsorship opportunities. Because for organizations, it's not just about someone throwing money at a kid. This is really about throwing a lot of love, joy, and effort through the power of music to these kids. And music's different. It's something that can be shared, and the story can then live on. So organizationally, one of the things we've talked about is how we would partner with organizations to bring their employees in who have children that are battling critical conditions, to bring their musician employees in to perform for other children. It's not just about writing a check. It's about really engaging. And I mentioned before, we want to be partnered with people that are very passionate about what we're doing.
We will find them. We will find a lot of people for sure. Clark, what is your
Yeah.
advice for a nonprofit professional who wants to develop their own skills in awareness to be a better professional and make a bigger impact in the organization? How do you think the happiness journey can help them, or if you have any other advices?
Well, and I'll make a plug for the happiness journey, but I'll make a bigger plug for looking for outside advice and coaching. I spent a ton of time reading. I've read all the business journals and all the business books, the nonprofit advice books, the nonprofit blogs and podcasts, and was still stuck. An outside viewpoint, I think, is critical. Someone who can see not only where you want to go, but where you are now, and then what's keeping you from getting from point A to point B. That's something that I think coaches do amazingly well, and I've never had a coach before. And so thank you to Bettina for exposing me to this world. So yes, I would definitely advise other professionals to consider coaching to break them out, because late at night reading the book, it all sounds really good and somebody else did it. And then the next morning you get stuck and you're doing your to-do list again. You need some help to find where you're stuck. For me, focus, meditation, and time blocking were my three things that we've kind of broken free. And it's going to open up my organization now. So again,
It
thank you.
happens
And
to me too, Clark. I was stuck several times in my career, and every time I did a big leap was with the help of a coach. That's why I fell in love with this type of work. And I think we can really make a huge change in people's life by being their accountable partner. What's missing in the world? It's people to find their accountable partner, someone to walk the journey with you, hold your hand and see the future together with you. And that's what we are aiming when we created this happiness journey program. Put some tools available for you to be your own coach in the future, but the first time you go on this path, you will have somebody next to you. So if you want to learn more about happiness journey program, go to our website witchy.tech and you'll find information. If you want, you can schedule a 1 hour session with me so we can check if there is a good fit for us to work together. And Clark, thank you so much for being part of my life. Your organization is the one that I want to make it thrive this year, and we're going to put all the effort we can to make it happen, make your dream come true. Thank you for participating, for being such an example for other nonprofit professionals. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Bettina. You have a wonderful day.
Okay, I closed everything. I think
I didn't want to say anything else until you said